Hello, and welcome to the first episode of Minnesota Due Process Coach. My name is Christine Lusignan, and I just wanted to take this first episode to kind of introduce myself, introduce this concept, and hopefully entice more people to ask questions or to subscribe to my channel. I am an educator here in Minnesota, specifically special education, and I've been doing it for the past 16 years through a variety of different positions that I've held. Currently, I am a due process specialist in two school districts here in Minnesota. Previous to that, I was a center-based teacher, I was a resource teacher. I did some work within the behavior sector. I've done behavior trainings for various districts, um, kind of all around lots of different things. I've also had the pleasure of working with a variety of extremely intelligent and fabulous directors here in Minnesota that have really lit a passion for me in leadership. I'll be the first to tell you that I am no director, but I certainly love to dabble in all things director, administration, especially within the special education realm. I have worked in both public and charters, which, mind you, are still public schools here in Minnesota, but two very different school systems and how they operate. Um, so yeah, I guess this idea came to me one day, thinking like how many phone calls I get a day from just coworkers, old coworkers, colleagues, friends, family asking me about different things in special education and really getting my opinion or asking me if I know any information. If you know me personally, you know that I love to dig for any and all info that I can. I'm kind of a sleuth when it comes to that. If you need me to find an answer or you need some digging done within your due process, I'm your gal. I love to train. I love to work with teachers. I love to coach teachers and mentor teachers, especially around best practices and due process here in Minnesota. I will not claim to be an expert anywhere else outside of Minnesota, but I definitely can answer all questions related to Minnesota education. So, with that, what I'd like to do for this channel is really just provide a wealth of information, bring in different guests or friends of mine that can really talk about a variety of topics that I think we're all constantly wondering about or wanting to know more about here in Minnesota, especially around special education. Due process is always changing. There's always something new. It's always interpreted different by each person and quite honestly by each district, which I've learned that throughout my career, that one thing that was said in a district I worked in is very different than what is actually expected of or in law here in Minnesota. So I think it's really open to interpretation by each person and each director and each director's style. I also think it's super important as a special education teacher that you know not only the teaching side, but at the due process side and also some of the administrative side, because I think until I started working more with administrators, I didn't quite understand how things worked within special education, how decisions were made, how they look at things differently than you do from that teacher's lens day to day in the classroom. And when I started being able to kind of think about both, things clicked a lot more for me as an educator myself. So, what I'm going to do is the questions that I get throughout the week from people, I'm going to just kind of start writing them down and then I will start answering them here on this channel for everyone. I'm also going to open it up on my Instagram page. I'm new to this, Minnesota Due Process Coach, where you can ask questions there as well, and then they'll be answered on this. My hope too is to bring, like I said, some of my friends in to kind of pick their brains, give a variety of topics, maybe provide some comic relief. Sometimes I think we think we're really funny, and maybe we are, maybe we aren't. But you'll know that I really just love talking about anything and everything special education. And I really have a passion for helping others, and for really teaching people to do what's best for kids. And I think that's most important. And that really starts with a solid foundation of good quality paperwork, right? Good quality evaluations, good quality IEPs and goals and objectives, and really making sure kids have what they need. Um, so that is kind of my hope here. Um, I'm trying to think of any questions that I've got this week that I have solid answers on. I'm working on one right now. I have some feelers out to some people that I know to help me answer so I can kind of get the best answers to some questions that I've gotten recently. I think a big one right now that I'm working through with the staff that I work with is progress reporting. And the progress reporting is kind of a hot topic here in Minnesota because there's a huge push from MDE for compliance that is what they're going to be monitoring this year and really ensuring that districts are trained and understand what they'll be looking for. There's some really great presentations on the MDE website for districts to give to their staff. I've done that. Interpreting it yourself too, right? Taking some of that information and making it work for your district is important. Um, and then it also is good info so teachers know what they're looking for when they're doing those compliance monitoring polls. This is going to be a big one for a lot of people because we haven't been monitored in so long because of COVID. So now that that's going to start up and running again, we really need to work with our teams on ensuring that we are compliant. Um, Progress is a big one, right? And making sure there's a couple things that are there, that your progress reporting statement from your IEP matches how much progress you're reporting on. A lot of districts are doing two, and I would advise that as well. It's just easier for teachers. If you have more reporting, then that's your choice. I came from a district before a while back that had four, but we had 4 quarters, and that's just what they chose to do. Um, Also, that you are monitoring the goal and collecting data on that, and you're collecting data on the objectives. The biggest pieces that I've been talking to people about is ensuring that it's data driven and not just anecdotal information. Susie's a great girl. She tries really hard. We're working on social skills. She's making great friends. Not gonna work for MDE. They're looking for what is Susie doing to achieve those goals? Is she able to have social exchanges 75% of the time on 2 out of 3 occasions in the small group setting? Have you collected that data and then reported on that? That is exactly what MDE is looking for. They're not looking for long, drawn out paragraphs. They're really looking for that solid data collection and information that we should be taking as special education teachers. The other piece is that you have those progress reports finalized. I see a lot of things lately where reports aren't being finalized. Um, and that's just a huge thing that we need to make sure that we're doing, that they're filed. And the history, whether you use sped forms or I'm trying to think, there's like a plan one too. I can't remember. I've only used sped forms. So if you have questions outside of sped forms, I can always find answers. But that is the system that I'm most familiar with. Um, yeah, that's a big one that I've been training on lately. I have a couple training videos that I've made. I'm happy to share those too with people, or if there's specifics that others are looking for. Um, I think that's it for today. So what I'm going to do is link my Instagram handle for people to ask questions. There's the ability to obviously comment on videos, so you can drop a comment, and the next video that I make, I will answer those questions for you. And in the meantime, I'm going to work on some really great guests to have where we'll kind of just talk about a variety of different things going on in special education, which is exciting for me. Hopefully, it's exciting for others. I look forward to engaging with you, and I look forward to more sessions. Thanks.